Subscribe to this channel, you can click on the subscribe button and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you don't miss awesome content. My name is Gopi Chandru and you're watching Gopi Tech Tips. So in this video I'll be talking about what kind of laptop should you buy or what kind of PC should you build if you're a student or a gamer or a content creator or a streamer. The first emphasis I want to make is on the operating system that the user uses the most. If you want to use Mac OS, then you have to go to Apple products and there is no other go. And if you're planning on a budget PC or a budget laptop or a budget gaming laptop or a content creator with custom build, then you need to go with Windows OS because most of the budget laptops or budget PCs come with Windows, unlike Apple products. And third type of OS is Chrome OS, which comes with Chromebooks. The fourth thing is Linux. So let's begin with choose your operating system. Which kind of operating system do you need? Either Windows, Mac OS, Linux or Chrome OS. Now getting to the performance, there are four things which contribute to the performance of your laptop. The first thing is the processor or the CPU, and the second thing is the RAM, and the third thing is your graphics or the graphic card or so-called GPU, graphical processing unit, and the fourth thing is your SSD, that is alternate for hard disk. So let's choosing the budget. So set your budget. By fixing your budget, you could find the best laptop at your budget. So if you don't fix your budget, a limit for your money that you're going to spend, then you finding a laptop would be a very difficult task. So if you fix a budget cap and if you don't get the sufficient features, then you could increase your budget by a little bit so that it could reach your expectations. So let's begin with the CPU. There are two companies, mainly AMD and Intel, which manufacture the 86 processors that you have on your desktop or your laptop. So for every Intel processor, that is i3, i5, i7, i9, in Ryzen we have alternates such as Ryzen 3, Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7 and Ryzen 9, and in which AMD outperforms Intel for its value of money. Like you get most out of AMD rather than Intel, and you have better integrated graphics on AMD. So my personal preference is I'll go with AMD rather than going with Intel because Intel is a bit more costly than AMD. If you are going to buy a laptop for watching movies and surfing the internet, then at most you require only a Celeron processor or an i3. If you're a student or a coder, you need either i3 or i5. If you're a content creator, i5 would be the minimum and you could go with either i7 or i9 for your use. Same goes with the streaming if you're a game streamer also. Now let's get to the RAM. So coming to the RAM, these days 8GB RAM is the minimum thing. Unless you're going to buy a laptop for watching movies or surfing the web. For those things 4GB is sufficient. But if you're going for coding, app development or web development and all such kind of content creation, you require a lot of RAM for video editing also. So even if you're a coder, you'll be running an IDE, an emulator or a browser, you'll be listening to music. So all these kind of applications require a lot of RAM. So 8GB these days is the minimum in 2021. If you're going to go with 8GB, if you're going to go with a 16GB would be perfect, and if you're going for 32GB RAM stick, then it would be futuristic. That means even in the future you could use your laptop without any problems. Coming to the GPU or the graphics of your laptop, first thing that you need to take care is, unless you're going for gaming, you don't need any graphic card. Unless you're going for high extensive machine learning algorithm compilation or any such thing, you don't require dedicated GPU. Because if you're a coder, if you're not going to play any kind of games or if you're not going to do any kind of video rendering work on your laptop, unless then you don't require any dedicated GPU, because the integrated GPU that is present on the motherboard, for Intel it is Intel UHD graphics, for AMD it is AMD Radeon Vega graphics. So for normal purposes it would be sufficient enough. But if you're going to go for gaming, then a dedicated GPU would be necessary with sufficient amount of DDR5 or DDR6 RAM, like a minimum 4GB graphic memory is necessary. 6, and these days we are also getting 8GB or 10GB graphic memory, like the RTX 3080, 3070 and other graphic card companies have released their own. So in graphic cards there are mainly two companies, NVIDIA and AMD. So choice is yours. I prefer NVIDIA over AMD. That is my personal preference. It's up to you which one to choose. Now let's get into the storage. So prefer SSD over HDD. I have already made a video regarding SSDs versus HDDs. The link is in the description. And if you're going to go for a laptop which has SSD, and there are two types of SSD, SATA and NVMe. So preferably go with NVMe SSD. And if you're in budget, probably in budget laptops we have only SATA SSDs, not NVMe SSDs. So please check that hard disk should not be your priority. SSD should be your priority. If you want to extend your storage, you can use an external hard drive and connect it to your laptop and use it normally like your hard drive. So prefer SSD, because it is going to save a lot of time if you're a coder, and it consumes even less power than hard disk, so it would be efficient for any person. And even if you're a gamer, if you want to game without any kind of lag, then you need to go for NVMe SSD. Now the fifth thing that I want to talk about is your battery. Battery is very important in a laptop, because if a battery gets 100 to 0 in less than an hour, then I would consider not buying the laptop at all, because unless you're a gamer, you're not going to drain such large batteries in gaming laptops. So in laptops, if you're going to plug your laptop to the charger all the time and play or use your software, then there is no need to consider the battery. But if you're going to use without the charger, if you're going to use the laptop without the charger, then battery life is also important. So consider a laptop with 6 to 8 hours or beyond that if you're a coder. And the sixth thing is the screen size. So going with the screen size, you can go with a 14-inch or a 15.6-inch version. Preferably go with the 15.6-inch version, because as I told you earlier, you'll be opening a lot of apps, and the screen size should be sufficient enough so that you could keep all your applications open on the desktop and you can switch over them. I mean, you can simultaneously keep them on the display for using. So for these reasons, a screen size 15.6 will be optimal, and 14 inches screen size would be okay for normal usage. And coming to the display resolution, go with full HD, not 4K, because 4K consumes more power than full HD, that is 1080p, and even on such a small screen, you're not going to see any difference between 4K and 1080p. So that is the reason, go with 1080p. And the screen display, that is, in phones we have AMOLED and IPS LCD. In general, all the laptops in budget you have, even on budget or beyond budget also, we have full IPS LCD displays, and they consume less power, and go with IPS LCD display. And every laptop that has IPS LCD display, they'll be mentioning that it is IPS LCD. If it is not mentioned IPS LCD, then it is something else, either it is TN panels or anything else. My preference is go with IPS LCD display, because almost all the people, even with the specs, can see the laptop clearly. And the anti-glaring screen should be present on every laptop. Before buying laptop, please check that. If there is no anti-glare, if sunlight strikes it, the sunlight is going to reflect you into your eyes. So that would be a bad thing. So please make sure that the screen is anti-glare. The last thing that I want to talk about is keyboard and the trackpad or the mouse pad that you have. So coming to the keyboard, choosing the right keyboard is always a priority, because you'll be typing a lot. And the keyboard should have backlit. I mean, the keyboards which have lighting on them. Like if you're a coder, if you're going to code at night, if it doesn't have the backlit keyboard, then it would be a lot difficult unless you know typing. Even if you know typing, backlit keyboard is very essential these days. And coming to the mouse trackpad, in older mouse trackpads, there are no precision drivers. That means multiple simultaneous fingers on the mouse trackpad may alter the mouse functionality. Now these days, these mouse trackpads come with a precision driver, which helps us to navigate using multiple fingers, and it would be a great thing if you could find that. The last thing is the additional features. These do not have any kind of impact over your performance. So these are as follows, like the fingerprint reader or the webcam, some other additional features that you have. All these do not impact the performance of your laptop. So hope you have learned choosing your right laptop for your right purpose. If you enjoyed this video, please do like, share and subscribe to our channel, Gopi Tech Tips.